What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers. So please be careful, guys. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want up to 15 free stocks, Moomoo is going to give you up to 15 free stocks. When you open a new Moomoo brokerage account, they're going to give you up to 15 free stocks for just trying out their brokerage app. When you put $100 in your brokerage account, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. When you put $1,000 in your brokerage account, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Moomoo link. Open up your new Moomoo account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. Don't delay, act today. It's critical that you act, guys, especially based on this information we're going to go through today. You cannot procrastinate. You have to take control of your financial life today. You can't wait till tomorrow. You got to do it today. And one of those financial decisions you have to make if you want to build wealth is having a brokerage account. That's the only way you can buy paper assets. You guys know in 2024 and beyond, I'm rocking with the Moomoo brokerage account. Like I said, there's a link down in the description box of this video. If you're interested in copying my plan, if you're interested in using the same brokerage app I use to buy my big boy blue chip paper assets that will double my net worth over the next 10 years, guys, you got to get down to the description box and click on that Moomoo link. You got to open up that brokerage account. You got to put some money in it, and then you got to be ready to build wealth. You're going to send me an email once you open the account and say, Richard, I've funded my Moomoo account. I'm ready to copy your plan. Can you please send me the video outlining the 3 big boy blue chip paper assets you're going to be buying over the next 10 years to double your net worth? Now, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CFP. I'm not an accountant. I'm just a guy who has been buying paper assets for over 20 years on his own. And I've built a level of wealth, and I continue to build my wealth by taking action. Not trying to be the expert, but taking action. Going out finding big boy blue chip paper assets that have a historical track record of multiplying money. That's the key, guys. It has to have a historical track record of multiplying money, or do not invest in it. Right? That's not advice. I'm just giving you my experience. It's a difference. See, for advice, I want a fee. I want to get paid when I give you advice, right? When I'm giving you my experience, I'm trying to help you, and that's free. It's free information, but it's just information. It's just my way of helping and paying it forward. Take action is the #1 step, guys, to keep yourself out of the weeds. Keep yourself out of the financial weeds. You got to take action. This information I'm going to go through today, you better start taking action. You better wake up and get an idea of what's happening in this financial market. And the only way you protect yourself, and you guys notice that rock with me on a daily basis, the only way you protect yourself in this whole financial mess we're getting ready to talk about today is if you got to have assets. You got to have assets that actually grow in value over time and do what? Somebody in the chat who's been rocking with me, what do your assets need to do in order to create financial freedom for you? What do your assets need to do? Income. They need to generate passive income. Passive income. That's what your assets need to do. If they're not generating passive income, they're not assets. They're not assets. They got to be generating passive income, right? I can't work for the rest of my life. I can't trade time for money for the rest of my life, guys. That's called active income. I can't do that for the rest of my life, nor do I want to do it for the rest of my life. I got to find a mechanism that can create passive income without me doing anything. That's how the 1% live. They don't do nothing, but their assets take care of them. Why? Because they built assets that actually generate income. So we have to do that. That's the only way we protect ourselves. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about two things that could throw us. As a matter of fact, they've already started. It could throw us. It's already started. And it reminds me of October 19th, 1987, which is widely considered the first Black Monday. And what happened in October 19th, 1987? Well, here's what happened. Economic growth slowed for 3 quarters, and inflation was on the rise. And there was massive panic in our economy, in our financial markets. Massive panic. The Dow, guys, one of the 3 major indexes, the Dow fell from 2,600 points to 1,700 points in a matter of a day. The market decreased by $1.71 trillion. Just like that. That could happen on Monday, March 11th. And here's why. 2 things. The first one is the Biden administration. And again, guys, I'm not picking sides here. It's a Biden administration-led charge on this one right here. Basically, if you got a side hustle, AKA gig worker, it's getting ready to get ugly for you. The government is stepping in, the IRS is stepping in, and it's finna get ugly. They want you to pay your fair share of taxes. Yeah, that's right. No more of this 1099 stuff where you get to, or for a lot of us, nothing. We just don't report it. We go out and create our own little side hustle. We just don't report it. Biden's finna do away with that. Yes, they are. Let me read you a little bit. Bear with me. Let me walk you through what's getting ready to happen. Let me walk you through. A new law issued by the Biden administration on March 11th will make gig work illegal in the United States, requiring companies to treat freelancers as employees. That's crazy, ain't it? This move is expected to increase labor costs for industries relying on contract labor or freelancers, impacting sectors like trucking, manufacturing, healthcare, app-based gig services, right? You're talking about Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, stuff like that. Manufacturing, healthcare. The gig economy involving around 64 million Americans in 2023 is a significant portion of the workforce. With this potential consequences for both workers and employees, The rule is set to take effect on March 11th and is likely to face legal challenges. So there are going to be people trying to challenge this law that the Biden administration is getting ready to try and put in effect, right? It's coming, guys. So please get yourself ready for it. The gig economy constitutes about 30% of the entire U.S. economy. That's huge. And it's finna be impacted. 30% of the United States economy. That's insane, right? Man. Previous Trump rule made it easier to classify workers as independent contractors, right? That was the prior rule. That was under the Trump administration. Because a lot of people say, you know, Trump, the Republicans are more friendly to this type of work. Why? Just different philosophy, right? Whereas the Democrats, Biden, they want to corral this thing and control it, right? Hiring all these new IRS workers to go after some of these people. I'm just telling you, I'm not picking sides. I'm just giving you what my information has uncovered. The new rule may face challenges from trade groups and businesses. Right? Job market challenges highlighted with increasing difficulty in finding new jobs. Government quietly erases 439,000 jobs through November 2023, suggesting job market health concerns. Right? Economic concerns, including an $11,500 annual bill for the average family and rising consumer debt. Starting to see where I'm going with this, with the economy, what we're facing, why we got to build assets, why we got to control our own financial freedom. Guys, I'm telling you, if you don't have assets and you ain't controlling your own financial freedom, you're going to be in trouble. I'm just telling you, it's coming. Office vacancies at 20%, including potential challenges for lenders as assets may go back to banks. Remember yesterday I talked about the commercial real estate market, that $1 trillion in commercial real estate coming due in 2024. A lot of that is office space. How does that affect you? Well, if these owners of this real estate can't get new loans when their loans come due this year, and that real estate has to go back to banks, guess what happens? A lot of those banks are going to fail. Why? Because they're going to be medium and small banks that most of this money came from. And guess where the banks get that money from? You. It's your deposits. So if these CRE loans, 1 trillion of them, if they fail in 2024, the banks fail. And if the banks fail, you fail, because that's where your money is. Now, I know some of you got FDIC insurance. Yes, you do. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. A lot of people got more than $250,000 in the bank. And that FDIC insurance, you don't just get that in 24 hours. It could take months. It could take a year. What are you going to do while the FDIC sifts through these failed banks and try to figure out a way to get you your money? It don't happen overnight. For some of you folks, you're going to be without cash for a good little bit. Some of you small business owners, all of your cash is tied up into these medium-sized and small banks. They fail. What are you going to do for payroll? What are you going to do to buy your goods? What are you going to do to buy your raw material? How are you going to operate your company while the FDIC sifts through these failed banks and try to get you made whole again? You got to be careful, guys. It's coming. The only way you protect yourself, you got to have assets. I keep telling you that. You got to have assets. Large corporations positioned to capitalize on distressed assets during economic turmoil. Come on, guys. That's the 1%. See, when they say large corporations, that's AKA code word for 1%. You notice they said corporations, AKA 1%, positioned to capitalize on distressed assets during economic turmoil. Go back to 2008, the last great financial crisis. Who do you think capitalized? The 99% or the 1%? The 1%. They bought up all the real estate dirt cheap in 2008. And then guess what they did? They started selling it around 2014 through 2020 and made out like fat rats. While the rest of us, we just basically struggled from 2008 to 2014. Just struggled. We could barely keep our heads above water. That's what's going to happen again if you don't have assets to protect yourself. If you don't have cash on the sideline to be able to take advantage of some of these great opportunities, these great asset opportunities that are going to be coming up. You got to be careful, guys. Prediction that 40% of all single-family homes in America will be owned by institutional investors in 6 years. 40%, guys. Remember, we've talked about these Wall Street firms. Not gonna mention no names, but y'all know who I'm talking about. These large Wall Street firms doing what? Buying up single-family home communities. Not only buying up single-family home communities, not only building multifamily, but they're also building what they call renter communities around the country. It's about 900 of them that already exist. They're called renter communities, where they go out, they partner with a national builder, and these national home builders will build 1,000 tract units, all cookie cutter, all the same. And they're renting them out. They want to turn America into a renter state where you own nothing, but you think you own everything. Be careful. Be careful, guys. That's the first thing that's happening. You better be careful with your side hustles, right? The Biden administration, and again, I'm not picking sides here. I'm just telling you who's introducing the law. You can go look it up yourself. I don't know the whole law in verbatim. I'm not a law professor. All I'm telling you is what I've read, and I'm just giving it back to you just so that you can wake up and understand you need to build assets and stop relying on somebody else. You better rely on yourself and your assets. That's all I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what these folks are getting ready to do. I'm telling you right now, these folks are out here getting ready to hire 30,000 IRS agents. Why are they doing that? Who do you think they're coming after? Not the 1%. They're getting ready to hire 30,000 IRS agents. They're getting ready to invest $80 billion in hiring 30,000 more IRS workers. Why are they doing that? Because they believe $688 billion in taxes is not being paid in that gig side hustle world. That's right. That's right. They want your W-2. None of the 1099 stuff. They want your W-2 so they can track you. They want the taxes. See, this 688 bill is missing, and they are looking to get it. So if you got side hustles, you better protect yourself, right? You better protect yourself. I've had side hustles for a long time, but I'm telling you guys, these folks ain't playing around. When you're talking about $688 billion in taxes missing, already when you know the United States is already operating at a deficit, we only collect $4 billion in taxes. But our expenses to run this country is $6 billion. There's a trillion dollars. We need $4 trillion. My apologies. $4 trillion we collect in taxes. But we need $6 trillion to run the country. So we have a $2 trillion deficit. They believe $688 billion is being lost due to this gig worker and side hustle thing going on. They want to tax you guys as W-2s. They want to tighten up. They want to tighten things up. That's the first thing you got to watch out for. Let's move on to the second thing. that you got to look out for that's going to cause this Black Monday event. Guys, it's happening in 24 hours. This is tomorrow. This is tomorrow. This ain't next week. This is tomorrow. This stuff is getting ready. It's already in the motion, right? This whole thing on side hustles, making sure you're being taxed, turn you into a W-2. You know why they want to turn you into a W-2? Because W-2 earners are the highest taxed people in America. That's why they want to turn you into W-2s on your side hustles. You're the highest taxed people in America. Not the 1%, because most of the 1% own what? Assets that generate income, investments, lower tax bracket. Business owners, lower tax bracket. See, you got to understand how this tax system works. When you're a W-2 person, you're taxed first, then you get what's left. When you're W-2. When you're W-2, they automatically take your taxes first. You don't get to write nothing off. You don't get to, no. If I'm getting $5,000 gross, they taxing me right off that $5,000 gross. Then I get what's left. When you're a business owner, you get paid first. You get taxed second. What do I mean by that? Well, as a business owner, I get to make all my money throughout the year, pay all my expenses, write off all my stuff, and then I do my tax return and say, this is what's left. Then they tax me. See, I get paid first, taxed second. When you're W-2, you get taxed first, paid second. It's opposite. W-2 people pay all the taxes in this country. Just telling you. That's my opinion. I was a W-2 guy for 25 years, guys. I paid a lot of taxes. I had no choice because they taxed me before I got my paycheck. It was taxed. Yeah, I had a little 401k money I could write off, but that's about it. That's about it. Yeah, I had some benefits like my medical expenses they would take out before they taxed me. So it lowered me a little bit, but not like a business owner. Not like a business owner. As a business owner now, I get to make all the revenue I need to make. I get to deduct my expenses to make that revenue. And then what's left, I get taxed on. That's the difference. I get some advantages as a business owner that I didn't get when I was a W-2 guy. I didn't get it as a W-2 guy. That's why I'm telling you, you W-2 folks, they even trying to dig in your pocket deeper now. Not only are they going to tax you on your primary income, which is W-2, now they're going to hit you in your pocket on your side hustle. And if you ain't reporting your side hustle, they're going to hire 30,000 IRS agents to go find out who ain't paying them. They're investing $80 billion in this, guys. These folks ain't playing around. They feel like they're losing out on $688 billion in unpaid taxes. We have a $2 trillion deficit to run this country. They believe they can pick up $500 million or $500 billion from collecting taxes on these gig workers and these 1099 workers. They're coming at you. So all I'm saying is this thing is starting Monday. They're rolling this thing out. So be ready. That's one, right? The second thing on the agenda is the Bank Term Funding Program. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm gonna read something for you and then we're gonna dive into that one. The Bank Term Funding Program was created to support American businesses and households by making additional funding available to eligible depository institutions to help ensure banks have the ability to meet the needs of their depositors. Okay, you're following me, but we're going to dive into that and peel that onion back in a minute. The BTFP, which is short for the Bank Term Lending Program, offers loans of up to 1 year in linked to banks, savings associations, credit unions, and other eligible depository institutions pledging any collateral eligible for purchase by the Federal Reserve Bank in open market operations. Now you can go out and research all that. I ain't gonna get into all of that, right? But here's the skinny. Here's the skinny. That program is ending Monday. Done. It's ending Monday. Monday or Tuesday. No, it is Monday because it started back in March 12th, 2023. They started that program. It was a bailout. I'm gonna just call it what it was. It's a bailout. It was a bailout. Federal government, through the Federal Reserve, stepped in and bailed out medium-sized and small banks. Because the big boy banks, the too big to fail banks, they didn't need no help. Like I told y'all yesterday, they don't need y'all deposits. Not the too big to fail banks. They don't need your deposits. They're flushed with deposits. They have trillions of dollars in deposits. They don't need your deposit. And you know how you can tell the big boy banks don't need your deposits? Because they're not going to pay you a 4% money market. They're not going to pay you a 4% high yield savings account. You notice Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, US Bank, none of those big boy banks, to the general population, like you and I, we're the general population, they're not going to pay us 4 or 5% on our money market. Now, if you're a 1%er and they're managing $100 million of yours, they'll pay it to you because they got an incentive to, because they're managing $100 million for you. But if you're down here in the 99% living in the bust economy and you got $5,000 or $6,000 you want to put in your little money market, they're not going to pay you no 4% because they don't have to. They're flush with cash. They're flushed with deposits. They don't have to pay you. Why would I pay you 4% when I don't have to? Banks ain't stupid, right? The ones that will pay you that are your medium and small banks. Why? Because they need your deposits. Big banks don't need your deposits. Little banks need it. Why do little banks need it? Because little banks take your money and they go lend it to somebody. Remember we talked about that $1 trillion in commercial real estate coming due in 2024? That's what they're doing with your money. They're taking your deposits and they're giving it to landlords. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Because that's how they make their money. They make their money off the interest that the landlord or the property owner pays them for that loan. But the way they are able to give that loan is they give your deposits to them. So they have to pay you 3%, 4%, whatever it is on your little money market. They got to, because that's the only way they're going to get you to give them your money so they can go out and make 2 times, 4 times that they're paying you. Right? So all I'm telling you is this bank term funding program supports that. And they supported it. Why? Because in 2022, 2023, when these small banks started failing, like Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, First Republic Bank, right? They started failing. Why did they fail? They made bad investments with customers' deposits. These banks made bad investments. Either they invested in the market and the value of the investment went down in value. Give you an example. Let's say one of these banks took $1 billion in customer deposits and put them in an investment. And then in 22, when the market tanked, that investment went from being worth $1 billion down to $800 million. They just lost $200 million in customer deposits. Problem was these customers start coming in asking for their money from these little banks and they didn't have it. So these banks failed. The FDIC had to step in. They stepped in and then the Federal Reserve created this program as a safety net or a bailout, right? Because they knew if you guys started coming in to these small banks and asking for your money, they knew these small banks wouldn't have it. They knew they wouldn't have it. So they created this program, this bank term funding program, so that banks could basically meet the depositor demands. So when you walked in there and say, hey, when a bunch of y'all walked in there and said, give me my money, ABC Bank, they could then say, well, we don't really got it, but we're going to go to the Fed. We're going to be a part of this bank term funding program and get the money from the Fed at cheap rates. And we'll have a year to be able to give it back to them. The problem is that program is ending. It's ending on Monday, March 11th. Done. And there's about $164 billion still owed by these little small banks that they're not going to be able to pay. I told y'all it was a bailout, right? I told you it was a bailout. Now, what will the Federal Reserve Board do? They're going to kick the can down the road. They're not going to force these banks to pay them because they know the banks don't have the money to pay them right now. Now, maybe they will down the road if their investments turn around. Maybe they will if this commercial real estate, $1 trillion in loans don't blow up in their face. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I just know interest rates are high, so these loans are coming due. They're not going to get the same rate that they got 3 years ago or 4 years ago when they took the loan out. The rate's going to be twice as much. Can their cash flow support that on these properties? I don't know. I just told you if it's an office building, 20% of office buildings are empty. So if I got an office building and my loan is coming due and I've lost half my tenants and my rate's going to go up, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out I'm not going to be able to make that payment. My tenants are down, so that means my revenue is down, but my interest rate is going up. How can I make that work? Unless I got cash on the sideline that I can pull into the deal and put my cash into the deal to reduce my loan amount, that might right size me. But how many people got that cash? Better yet, how many people are willing to give away their cash to a project that may not make it? There ain't many people going to do that. People aren't stupid, especially people who own these types of real estate. No one's going to put good money into a bad money project when they know they're going to probably end up losing their good money. What they'd rather do is take their chances and say, sue me. I'm keeping my money. You can take the building. But I'm not going to put more of my money into a project that is not going to make it. All I'm trying to tell you guys is you better see the headwinds. You better see what's coming. That bank term funding program is done. So these little small banks can't go back to the Federal Reserve no more and get sweetheart loans. Can't do it no more. It's done. The program's done. Now, could the government come out and extend it and give them an additional year of bailout money? They can. But we'll see. Monday, it's over. It's done. So these little small banks that you're banking with, they can't go to the Federal Reserve Board anymore and say, hey, give me this sweetheart loan because I got all my depositors coming in asking for their money and we don't have it because we done put their money in all of these risky projects that ain't panned out yet. I'm not saying they won't pan out. They ain't panned out yet or they wouldn't be borrowing money from these people. The Federal Reserve Board, right? So those are the two things, guys, that are here Monday. And it could cause catastrophic events. Catastrophic events in our economy. Will it? I don't know. I'm no fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball. What I do here, guys, is try to prepare you. And I know some people think, oh, golly, this is just doomsday. No, it ain't doomsday. It's the real world. See, you over here living in this matrix, that's why you think it's doomsday. See, you over here in this bubble, in this matrix bubble where people telling you everything is perfect. The economy is perfect, but it's not. See, that's what most of y'all, not most of y'all, some of y'all don't want to hear the truth. You can't handle the truth. The truth is you got two economies. You got a great economy up here that the 1% participate in, private jets, new homes. Why is residential home sales dropping, but prices aren't dropping? You know why prices aren't dropping? Because the 1% is still buying. They're still buying. People out here in my community that I live in, guys, these people are still buying real estate. One just sold across the street. $1 million house just sold. Boom. People buying. See, but we misunderstand what's going on. Y'all think it's just one economy. No, it's two economies. This economy up here is what they call a boom economy. The 1%, people who have assets. People who have assets that generate what? Income. Right? They're participating up here. People down here in the bust economy, these are the people that are struggling. And that's mostly made up of the 99%ers. See? bust economy, but they're living in the matrix in a make-believe mindset that everything's perfect. Oh, I don't want to hear all this gloom and doom. It's not gloom and doom. It's just the truth. It's the truth. You just don't want to acknowledge it. Now, you don't have to. You can live in the matrix and just depend on the 1% to throw you scraps when they want to throw you scraps. You can depend on that if you want. It's your life. My job here is to give out information to the best of my knowledge, what's going on. If you don't believe me, go out on the $1 trillion research lab, just like I did. Go out on the $1 trillion research lab and just Google these two things I just mentioned. This whole Biden administration law that they're trying to put in place for side hustles, and then go look up the bank term funding program. Go look them up yourself. Go read exactly what's going on. I paraphrase it and put some of my words in there, but it's basically the same thing. It's happening. These people are hiring 30,000 IRS workers. They're investing $80 billion because they believe almost $700 billion in taxes are not being paid because people are not reporting their true income. I'm just telling you. You think I'm lying? Go research it. Oh, it's gloom and doom. No, it's the truth. That's why I'm telling you better get your butt in gear to build some assets. Stop building assets in Louis Vuitton. Stop building assets in Ford, GMC, any of these other car makers, BMW, Mercedes. Stop putting your money there and continuing to build their wealth. I guarantee you the Ford Motor Company, they're billionaires. It's a multi-trillion dollar company, guys. Been around for 100 years. That family is rich. Not rich, they are wealthy. They don't need nothing. They don't live the same lifestyle we live. When they wake up in the morning, they don't do nothing they don't want to do. But yet and still, we will pour millions and billions of dollars into these companies every single year while we struggle and they thrive. Better wake up, guys. You better redirect those dollars and put them in something that's going to make you thrive. I'm just telling you, it's happening and it's starting on Monday. Yes, it is, guys. It is starting on Monday. Yeah. It's starting on Monday. The question is, what are you going to do with the information? What are you going to do? You do know that the jobs report came out on Friday. Yeah, jobs report came out on Friday. Let's think about the jobs report that came out in the January jobs report. Remember in the January jobs report that we got in February, initially, we thought the economy was super red hot, right? We thought it added 353,000 jobs. We were like, oh, goodness gracious, that's red hot. But then they revised it. They revised it down, right? They revised it down to about 290,000 jobs, right? Fast forward to the February jobs report that we just got last Friday. That came in at what? That came in about 275. They're going to revise that down too. Watch. In April, they'll revise that down. My point is, the labor market is starting to soften, guys. It's starting to soften. Think about this. In January, what was unemployment? It was 3.7%. On Friday, when the February jobs report came out, what was unemployment? 3.9%. It went up 1 month. What did the Federal Reserve predict unemployment would be in 2024? 4.1%. What did the Congressional Budget Office predict unemployment would be? 4.4%. You see where I'm going with this? The job market is still resilient, but it's softening. Why? Because the Fed is going to force it to soften because they're going to keep interest rates higher for longer. They're going to force it to soften, guys. Who does that affect? Not the 1%. It doesn't affect the 1% at all. Who does it affect? You and me. That's right. It's going to affect us. All I'm telling you is unemployment may continue to go up. And that translates into what? Millions of jobs lost. Some of you will lose your jobs because of this softening in our labor market. Because the Fed understands if they don't soften it, we may never get inflation back down to 2%. They need inflation at 2%. It's not there right now, guys. Next Tuesday, we got the February CPI inflation report coming out. I'm going to do like I always do. I encourage you guys to pay attention. The report will come out on Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I encourage you to pay attention and figure out what's going on here. Because I'm telling you, it will help you, that information. Now, of course, you know, I'm going to do my little 2 cents and give y'all my little 2 cents on what the report said. But again, I'm no expert. I'm just an information giver. I'm a guy who goes out and studies this stuff and give it to you at the best of my ability, but I'm no expert. I recommend you have a good understanding of what's going on. It's coming out on Tuesday. I believe the 12th is the date. CPI inflation report coming out on the 12th of March. Guess what's coming the following week? The Fed meeting. The March 20th Fed meeting. And guess what they're going to be talking about in that Fed meeting, guys? Interest rates. They're going to be talking about interest rates. They're going to be talking about inflation. See, these are all important dates. We already got the jobs report that came out last Friday, the jobs report. Now we got the CPI inflation report coming next week. And then the week after that, we got the Fed meeting. All of these things are important to people who want to do what? Get out of being a consumer and move over here and be an investor so they can control their own financial destiny. Right now, a lot of us don't control our financial destiny. Someone else controls it. Whoever pays you controls your financial destiny. And you already see what the government getting ready to do right now for your side hustles and you gig workers. They're getting ready to come after you. So all I'm telling you is if you want to play games with your taxes and you want to play games with the money that you make and all this other stuff, these people ain't messing around, man. These people ain't messing around. They feel like they're leaving $700 billion on the table. That's what they feel like they're leaving on the table, $700 billion, and they ain't happy with it. Right? So all I'm telling you is to get yourself out of that loop, get yourself on solid ground, solid financial ground. What you need to be doing is investing in assets that build wealth. You need to be investing in assets that build wealth. Period. If you're not doing that, guys, you're doing yourself a disservice. You really, really need to pay attention to building assets. And it starts with what? A mindset change. You got to get yourself out of the matrix. You noticed over the last month, there have been a lot of activity in the stock market. A lot of money has been converted from stocks to cash. Matter of fact, about 11 billion of it from billionaires. Billionaires cashing in and converting their stock positions or a portion of their stock positions back to cash. You also know over the last couple of months, one of the most well-known investors in the world, Warren Buffett, through his company Berkshire Hathaway, converted about 28 billion to cash. He has about 160 billion in cash through Berkshire Hathaway. What is he doing? What is he waiting on? Well, I don't believe he's doing anything he hadn't done in the past. I think when you score big and you make profit, what do? You take profit and you wait for the next big score. And I think that's what Buffett is doing. I think for these other folks, the Zuckerbergs, the Bezoses, the Jamie Dimons, all of these really, really wealthy people took profits. Because what do? They hit home runs. They hit a home run in 22, and that home run paid off for them in 23, and they took profits in 24, early 24. All I'm telling you guys is they play by different rules. The 1% play by different rules. They manipulate us and use us, and they play by their own rules. And they won't allow us to play by their rules. They don't want us to play by their rules because they don't want us to create wealth. They want us to stay in the matrix. The question is are you going to continue to let this happen? You see what's happening here, guys. They're getting ready to try to put an end to side hustles as we know them today. They're trying to turn it into like a full-fledged W-2 job. And why are they doing that? They want to collect more taxes from you. That's why they're doing it. Come on, well, you know why they're doing it. They're trying to turn 1099, they're trying to turn that sucker into a W-2 so they can get more taxes. They get the first. See, as a 1099, you get paid first. They get paid second as a 1099 guy or gal. They don't want that. They want you a W-2 guy or gal because they get paid first when you're W-2. You get paid second. When you're 1099, you get paid first, they get paid second. They don't like that. They don't want that. They don't like that. I don't like that. They don't like that. So that's what's finna happen. That's what they're gonna try to make happen. You better be ready for it. You better be ready for it, guys, because they are getting ready to try to make that happen. And it starts Monday. Less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. They're finna release this thing on you. And you can kick and scream, but they don't care. They don't care. You notice you don't see nothing about going after the 1%. You don't hear nothing about increasing capital gains tax. You don't hear nothing about that, do you? You don't hear nothing about increasing taxes on these businesses, this business income, do you? You don't hear nothing about that. All you hear about is we finna go after these 99%ers who got these 1099s and making all this money and ain't paying their fair share of taxes. We going after them, the 99%. You don't hear them going after the 1%, do you? You don't hear them going, you don't hear them nothing about the 1%. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I told you guys who put these people in office. I don't care what side it is. The 1% put them in office. And the whole thing in our financial system is to fleece the 99%. They want to fleece us. They want to make us pay for everything. We pay all the taxes, right? Think about it. The W-2 folks pay all the taxes. Why? Because they get paid, the IRS gets paid first from W-2 folks. And then you get paid second. Right? That's how it works. W-2 are the highest payers of taxes in this country. Now, people may disagree with that, and that's okay. I'm just giving you my opinion. There's no scientific evidence. I just went to the $1 trillion research lab and just did a little research. W-2 people are the highest paid with most taxes. And guess what? They even trying to squeeze you out of more now. So these little side hustles and the gig work you do, where you get paid first and then you pay them second, once you do your tax return, they don't want that no more. They don't believe you're paying them fairly. They don't believe you're being honest about your wages, your income. So they're going to turn it on you. They're going to turn it on you and say, nope, we're going to turn you into a W-2. So if you're driving Uber, you're driving Lyft, you're door dashing it, W-2. That way they can control when they get their money. They don't want you controlling when they get their money like the 1%. See, the 1% pay them when they want to pay them. Or they don't pay them at all. Right? 1% make $1 billion over here, and they lose $1 billion over here and they just wipe out their tax liability. Oh, I got this real estate property that, the hurricane hit it and I had $300,000 worth of damage, and yeah, I know I made 300, but I wiped that out. I lost 300 over here, but I made 300 over here. I pay you no taxes. That's how the 1% roll. See, we don't got that. We ain't got nothing to write off nothing. Because we ain't got no assets. We got no assets to write nothing off. We don't have no real estate for income. We don't have paper assets that maybe we take a loss on this company, but we made a gain on this company. We can whitewash it. We don't have that. But the 1% do. And that's how they avoid. Or they got companies where they say, well, okay, we spent, we got, let's say we made $1 million. Right? We made $1 million, but it cost us $800,000 to make the million. So it leaves us with $200K. That's what they pay taxes on. What they don't tell you, of that $800,000 in expenses, about $400,000 of it is depreciation, which is a non-cash expense. So they just put $400,000 in their pocket that they paid no taxes on through depreciation, which is a non-cash expense. Telling you guys, this is how the 1% get rich and stay rich. All I'm telling you is we need to copy that plan. We need to copy that plan. So after my 25 years in banking, I was a W-2 guy, which they got paid first, I got paid second. Last 4 years, I've been a business owner. I get paid first, they get paid second. Now, I pay my fair share of taxes. I have a CPA. He does all of my tax returns, personal and business. Ain't no shady stuff on my side. I pay my right share of taxes, and I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to avoid taxes. But it is different when you are able to be a business owner versus somebody's just a W-2 guy. It's totally different. Because as a business owner, I have expenses associated with the revenue that I create. And I'm able to write those off before I have to pay taxes. Whatever's left, that's what I pay my taxes on. But that's what's afforded people who own businesses. The tax code is more friendly to people who own businesses than to people who don't. That's my opinion. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just telling you, I believe, because I've been in both systems. I've been in the W-2 system as a high income earner, and I had no write-offs basically. And then I've been a high income earner in the business environment where I do have write-offs because I can write off expenses that are associated with the revenue that I create for my company. I get to write that off. So it reduces my tax liability. There are certain things in there I can get paid for as non-cash expenses. Depreciation is one of them. That's all I'm saying. You got to understand how this thing works, man, and put yourself in a position where you are taking advantage of all the things the 1% takes advantage of. That's where the 99% we miss out. We miss out because we don't take advantage of what the 1%. But I keep telling y'all, and I've told y'all this for a long time, if you know the rules to the financial game, you can get in and play effectively and build wealth. But you got to know the rules. You got to know the rules. And a lot of us don't know the rules. Why? Because we're stuck in the matrix. We're stuck in the matrix, going out buying big SUVs, going out buying too much house, going out buying all kind of goofy stuff that don't make no money. And that's where they want us at, stuck right here. And all we worried about is the wrong stuff. We got to get out of that mind frame, guys. Too many of us are still in that mind frame where we're stuck in the matrix. We're not thinking like the 1%. We're not building wealth like the 1%. They don't want us to, but we should anyways. They don't want me to build wealth like them, but I do it anyways because I know how they operate. I know the rules to their financial game. So therefore, I can get into the game participate, and do well, right? I can't just wake up one day and go play chess if I don't know how to play chess. I got to learn how to play chess. Then I can go out and challenge somebody in a chess game. But I can't just wake up one morning not knowing how to play chess and think I'm going to go out and beat some world-class chess player. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. And that's the same thing in our financial life. If we don't know how to play this financial chess game, we're not going to be able to play. And on this channel, my goal is to give you information to help you learn how to play the game. That's my goal here, is to help you learn how to play the game and to make you aware of things that are happening in this financial environment that you may not know about. It has nothing to do with gloom and doom. It has everything to do with trying to enlighten you from a financial standpoint so you can make moves to protect yourself. But my guess is a lot of you guys who watch this channel didn't know about this whole thing. And again, I'm no expert on it. I just went out to the $1 trillion research lab and did a little research. And then I brought back my findings, my opinion, not etched in stone, not guaranteed, but my opinion, just to make sure that you understand what the 1% are doing, how they are planning to keep you dead broke in 2024, how they're planning to reach and claw back your gig money, your side hustle money. That's all. Just letting you know how your bank operates. See, letting you know how these people make money off of your deposits, your hard-earned money. Letting you know what these banks do and the programs that our government comes up with to safety net them, to backstop them, to bail them out in the name of small businesses and depositors and customers like you and I, consumers. That's the way they paint it, right? Really, it's the 1% that they're backing. I'm just telling you, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. They all have to answer to the 1% at the end of the day. I don't care who it is. And if they don't answer to them, they won't be reelected. We've seen that. We've seen one and dones in all levels of government. If you don't participate, you are gone. Never to be heard from again, not in the political environment. These people don't play around. All I'm telling you is the only way you control your financial destiny is you got to have assets, guys. Please, you got to have assets. There's no other way. Your W-2 income that you're making, why? Because they can fire you anytime they want. Anytime they want, they can fire you. They can fire you, man. I've already told you what's happening in the labor market. It's softening. It's softening. Go out on the $1 trillion research lab and just type in companies laying off employees in 2024, and you'll see the number of layoffs that are occurring, especially in retail and in the tech industry. Those are the two big ones. Those are the two big ones. When you go look at the jobs report from last Friday, who are the two leading industries that are hiring people right now? Healthcare and the government. Not widget companies, not manufacturers of anything. Healthcare and government. 1 and 2. Why healthcare? Because we got an aging population in this country, and healthcare companies are beasts. It's a crime. See, they're not in the cure business. They're in the chronic business. Why? They want chronically ill patients because they keep making money off of them, right? They don't want to cure it. They want it to just be critically ill all the time. And I'm not saying across the board, but I'm just saying there are some healthcare companies out there, that's their motto. They're not in the cure you business. They want to treat you, right? They want to treat you. They don't want to cure you. They want to treat you. The money is in the treatment, not in the cure. So we got an aging population, so healthcare is always going to be needing people and going up. And then you got the government. I already told you they're getting ready to hire 30,000 IRS workers. Gonna spend 80 billion so that they can go after the gig workers and go after you people that decide hustles ain't paying your fair share of taxes. They want to turn you into a W-2 employee so that they get paid first, you get paid second. Right now, the way it's set up, like I told you, 1099, you get paid first, they get paid second. They don't like that. They don't like that. But yet and still, they ain't going after the 1% though. Why ain't they going after them? They pay the least amount of taxes. And I know a lot of y'all, well, that's not true. The 1% pays most of all the taxes. Okay, that's a difference of opinion. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I don't think they do, but okay. I know so many people. I know so many big boy billionaires don't pay no taxes. Well, you got your own president, your own former president, Donald Trump, who could be president again. He went on record and said he ain't paid taxes in 10 years. None. None. No 1040 taxes. None. That's your president. He gonna be your president in 2024 if something don't change. Donald Trump gonna be reelected. And again, I'm not picking sides. I ain't for or against. I ain't trying to pick on nobody's candidate. I'm just telling you the facts. Go out there and look at go to the research lab, guys. And he ain't paid taxes in 10 years. Why in the world ain't he paid no taxes? Somebody help me with that in the chat. Why hasn't he paid any taxes? And I'm not picking on Donald Trump, but there are many of these billionaires and many of these politicians don't pay no taxes. Just saying. Not just Trump now. I'm not picking on Trump. Please don't. I'm not picking on Trump. I'm just used Trump because he's such a polarizing figure and who has come out on record and said he ain't paid none. That's the only reason I use him. It ain't that I don't like him or I do like him or I don't need to get y'all going on that. Only reason I used Trump was because he has went on record and stated that he hasn't paid any taxes. He's a billionaire. There are other billionaires that don't pay no taxes. I don't know. Why as a W-2 guy making a couple $100,000 a year, I got to pay 37, 38, 40% taxes. But you got big, gigantic corporations, their tax bracket is less than 20%, 15%, 10%, or they don't pay none. I don't know, guys. Y'all help me out here. I'm just trying to figure this out with you. I'm trying to get feedback. Why is it when I'm a W-2 guy and I'm making a couple $100,000 a year, I'm at a 37.5% tax bracket or 35% tax bracket or 30% tax, whatever it is, you fill in the blank. But I'm a billionaire and I pay no taxes. How does that work? How can I make no money as a billionaire, but I still fly around in jets, G650s. I still live in lavish villas all around the world. I still dine at the finest restaurants. I go to the finest opera. I got the skybox at the Super Bowl. I can do all of this stuff as a billionaire, but I pay no taxes. I don't know. But then you got a guy who's out here, or a gal out here working a 9-to-5, W-2, making $100, making $200, making $50, and you pay more taxes than the billionaire. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't know. I'm not complaining about our financial system. I'm just trying to get you to understand our financial system who is slanted towards. That don't mean you don't go out and build wealth, though. You do go build wealth because I did it. There are you out there that are doing it. More of us need to do it. But we need to understand the financial system in order to do it, is what I'm saying. We got to understand this financial system to do it. And not be afraid to step up and take action. That's all I'm saying, guys. I've given you what's happening tomorrow. Less than 24 hours. 2 things, very important things, critical to what? Our economy, critical to our financial markets. These 2 things are happening. I've told you in the month of March the important dates that you need to look out for. You need to look out for March 12th. That's the CPI inflation report for February. You need to know what's going on with inflation because that's going to tell you what the Fed is going to do with interest rates. Why is interest rates important? Because when interest rates go down, what happens to assets? They go up. Why is that date important? You need to know what's going on with inflation, guys, because it's going to tell you what's going to happen with your assets. Rates go down, assets go up. March 20th. Why is that important? Fed meeting. They're going to give you clarity, forward thinking. They're going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, and the market is going to act accordingly. If the Federal Reserve chair gets out here and go to being, oh, yeah, we're going to keep interest rates higher for longer, and at this point, we don't know if we're ever going to, we may not reduce interest rates in 2024. All hell's going to break loose in the stock market, and it's going to sell off. But we won't know that unless we listen to the media. We tune in and figure this out. We got to tune in, guys. We got to be present. We got to start paying attention. We got to stop entertaining ourselves. All we want to do is sit around and entertain ourselves and watch skits on Facebook and TikTok and all this little stupid stuff on TikTok. You get all this stupid stuff on TikTok, but anytime anything of value comes on TikTok, they got low views. But any foolish stuff, high views. See, that just tells us where we are in our country. That's what tells where we are. All we want to do is be entertained, right? And smoke and mirrors. No, guys, we can't do that anymore. Not the folks that are trying to get to wealth. We cannot be distracted by just only wanting to be entertained. And anything that don't entertain us, we don't got time for it. You better start being educated and then taking that education and turning it into what? Freedom. And stop being caught over here in this matrix. That's our problem with a lot of us. We're caught in the matrix. We're missing this valuable information. There are people who have heard me communicate this valuable information. They're not going to do anything. Oh, this guy's a con artist. He's a scammer. He's a this. But I ain't asked you for nan dime yet. I ain't asked you to buy nan course. I done been on this stream over an hour. Have I asked you to buy a course? Have I asked you to come to my webinar? Have I asked you to whatever? Have I tried to pitch some real estate scheme to you? No. All I've been trying to do is give you information that could be helpful to you building wealth. Now, if you don't want to build wealth, then don't watch my channel, because this is all I'm going to talk about. And if you think it hurts my feelings, it makes me feel bad, I'm stressed, you caused that, not me. I'm here to give you information. If you got financial stress in your life, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. See, that's the problem with a lot of us. We want to put our financial failures off on somebody else because that makes us feel better. Oh, it ain't my fault. It's that guy on YouTube I listened to. He told me to do this. No, I ain't told you to do nothing. I'm just giving you my opinion. I ain't told you to do nothing. Whatever you do is on you. Take your own responsibility for your own financial life, guys. That's step one in reprogramming the filter system. I have to sit down and admit I screwed up my financial life, not somebody else, me. I screwed it up, but guess what? That stops today. I'm getting ready to turn my financial life around. I'm gonna stop spending money to make the 1% wealthy. I'm gonna turn my financial life around, and I'm gonna start investing in assets to make me and my family wealthy. That's the first step in reprogramming the filter system and getting yourself out of the matrix. What are you gonna do? You got the information. It starts March 11th, 24 hours. 24 hours. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Are you prepared? Well, what if the market crashes? Okay, it'll be temporary. Red days mean wealth. That's all. If you're a long-term investor and you've been rocking with me, you know I love red days. The more red days, the better. Because I can pick up more assets at a discount. and I'm going to hold those assets for the next 10 years. I believe the S&P 500 will be worth more in 10 years than it is today. How do you know that? I just look at the history. History says it will. That's all. History says it will. That's what I hang my hat on. I hang my hat on history. Not what some guy said on YouTube. I go look at the history. History says from 2014 to 2024, the S&P 500 is more than double. That's history. That's fact. That ain't what somebody said on YouTube. That's fact. That's what I hang my hat on. So I believe it will double itself again in the next 10 years. So every day I can buy in the red builds my net worth even more. Do I buy in green days? Absolutely, through dollar cost averaging. I'm in the market 365 days a year through dollar cost averaging. 365 days a year. Why 365 days a year? Because I never know when it's going to go to the moon. I never know when the rocket ship is going to the moon. I got to be on the rocket ship every day so that I don't miss when it goes to the moon. Got to be on the rocket ship every day. So I invest 365 days a year. Oh, you mean to tell me you invest? How you going to invest on Sunday and Saturday? The stock market's closed. What I mean by is I'm dollar cost averaging in every month. So my money is in the market every day. My money, I got 75% of my net worth in the stock market every day. That way I don't miss the rocket ship going to the moon. That way I got a seat on the rocket ship, right? I don't know when the rocket ship is going to launch. They don't tell me. I don't have that information. All I know is what history tells me is, Richard, just be on the rocket ship. Be patient, continue to invest, have some discipline, be consistent, and just be on the rocket ship. So when it does take off and it does go to the moon, you don't miss anything. You don't miss anything. I love that. See, but where a lot of us miss that opportunity is we try and time the market. We done heard some guy on YouTube, some gal on TikTok. We done heard somebody on MSNBC or Fox News or MSNBC, CNN, one of them stations. We done heard one of them say something and we take that, we hold that, so we treat it like it's the gospel. So we wait. My favorite guy on MSNBC told me to wait. He said to wait. It ain't time to buy yet. Just wait on him. He'll give me the cue. You sitting on the sideline. You ain't on the rocket ship. All of a sudden, the rocket go to the moon. You missed that day. That was one of the best days the market going to have all year. You missed it, though. Why? Because you waited on the sideline. Get yourself in the game. Get yourself in the game, guys. I'm telling you, get in the game. That's what it will take in order to build wealth. And you won't get yourself trapped in this Black Monday that's getting ready to happen tomorrow. Oh, what if nothing don't happen? Okay, well, it don't happen then. I think something will happen. It may not happen all on Monday, but the start of it, it's already started, guys. I mean, God told you to go to the $1 trillion research lab. It's already started. This law for side hustles has already been in the works. These people are hiring 30,000 IRS agents. And they're coming after you. Not the 1%. They're coming after you. So you sit around and act like it ain't going to happen. Okay. It ain't too late till it's too late. It don't catch up to you till it catch up to you. That's how this life works. It don't catch up to you till it catch up to you. So you can sit around and act like it ain't going to happen. Okay. Here's what I recommend you do. Prepare. Okay, shoot. I got my side hustle. These people trying to do this and do that. Guess what? I'm going to go ahead and formalize my side hustle and turn it into a business. That way, I ain't got to worry about them. But as long as I'm this little 1099 guy, they're going to get me. I'm going to formalize my side hustle and turn it into a business. That way, they can't touch me because you know they're not going to go after the 1%. That's who own the businesses. So I'm going to turn it into a business, a real business, right? I'm going to turn it into a real business. Even though it was a side hustle, I'm going to turn it into a real business so I protect myself. If I stay a 1099 guy, I'm subject to this law. I'm subject to these rules. But if I turn it into a regular business, now I'm subject to better rules for businesses because that's what the IRS is set up for. The IRS code, tax code, is set up for businesses. That's why they get the best treatment in the tax code. So why not turn my side hustle into a legit business? Guess what? I don't need no employees but me. I'm one employee, guys, in my business. Could I have treated it like a side hustle? Sure. But I treated it like a real business. I'm the only employee, but I get all the benefits that a 500 employee company gets. A company that got 1,000 employees, I get the same benefits through our tax code as they do. That's how you beat the system. Not really beat the system. That's how you put yourself on the right side of the system. That's how you use the system to build wealth, but in the right way because it's 100% legal. I'm just telling you, if you want to get yourself outside of this gig worker, this side hustle, formalize it, turn it into a real business. Don't take that much. And now you create a better level of transparency to the IRS, but you also get better treatment. And then get yourself a real CPA, guys. Not none of these YouTube CPAs, no TikTok CPA, no Instagram CPA, but go out and get you a real CPA that operates in the real world and works with small business owners. That's what you need. A real CPA that understands the tax code, that understands that you're a small business, and you need to go in there and sit down with that CPA and tell them what you're trying to get accomplished financially, and you need their help in order to get there. That's what I do. I just had a conversation yesterday with my CPA. I've had him for 25 years. And he had a few questions for me based on my information that I had sent him because he's getting ready to get my corporate tax return and my personal tax return ready to go. And he had a couple questions. We answered them right on the phone, and I'm good to go. He'll send me the tax returns first. I will review them. If I'm happy with it, we send them in. If I'm not happy with it, I go back to him and say, hey, what about this? What's this? And then he'll do whatever, and boom, I'm ready to go. Am I going to pay taxes? Absolutely, I'm paying taxes. I don't mind paying my fair share of taxes, guys. I live in the greatest country in the world. This country has to work some kind of way. I'm going to pay my fair share. No, I'm not a billionaire, and I don't get to pay no taxes. I'm going to pay my fair share. And I'm okay with that. See, I have no problem paying my fair share of taxes. No problem with that. I owe that to this country. Now, some of you may feel differently. I don't. See, I don't worry about paying my fair share. I'm going to do that every year. I've paid taxes every year I've had my business. I don't look for no tax return. I pay my taxes because guess what? I get to do what I really want to do in this country, and nobody bothers me, and I make as much money as I want. There's a price to pay for that. For some of us. Now, these billionaires, they're in a whole different stratosphere. But the everyday regular folk, there's a price for freedom. There's a price we have to pay for democracy. There's a price we have to pay to be in a country where we can go from zero to $1 gazillion and nobody get in our way. There's a price you pay for that. I'm okay with that. What I don't want to do is pay more than what my share of taxes is. So I go get me a good CPA so that we abide by the rules. I pay myself first. I pay the IRS second. That's the way I work. Because I have revenue, I pay my expenses that I needed in order to create that revenue, and then what's left, that's what I pay my taxes on. That's okay. That's the way the rules are set up. Right? So here's the deal. Get yourself in position to be ready to go. starting Monday, because all of this stuff is going to be starting to roll out. Like I told you, the bank funding, the bank term funding program is done as of tomorrow. So your medium size and small banks, they got to pay that money back at some point. I don't know when they're going to pay it back, but they're going to have to. They're not going to have the ability to go to that program and borrow money anymore, because it was only for 1 year, unless the Federal Reserve Board extends it, which they may. I don't know. So be ready for that. Second thing, of course, be ready for whatever rolls out with this new law that's coming down on side hustles and gig workers. My strategy would be formalize your business. You do whatever you want to do, but I would just formalize my business so that I get the best tax treatment out of our tax code. I just formalize my business. I wouldn't call it a side hustle no more. I just turn it into a real business. And now I got all the benefits of any of the big boy companies. I get the same benefits, right? I get the same benefits. Right now, as that 1099, you're going to be a target. They're going to target you. So just be on the lookout for that. Guys, again, if you want up to 15 free stocks, Moomoo is going to give you up to 15 free stocks for just trying out their brokerage account. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link. When you put $100 in that Moomoo account, they're going to give you 5 free stocks. If you put $1,000 in your Moomoo account, they're going to give you 15 free stocks. Now, this is limited time offer, right? It's not going to last forever. That's the brokerage app that I use, Moomoo. I use that. That's my primary brokerage app. And I've been using it since the beginning of this year, and I'm happy with it, right? It also has in-app tutorials so that you can go through and go to the learning lab. There's a learning lab in there. You can go to that lab. You can go ahead and click on it, and it's going to give you all of these tutorial videos about stocks, ETFs, how to use the app. Everything that the app offers, it has tutorials to show you how to use it, if that's something you're interested in. Like I said, if you want to rock with me, and if you want to build wealth in 2024 and beyond, if you want to copy my wealth transfer blueprint, all you got to do is send me an email. My email address is down in the description box as well. Send me an email and say, hey, Richard, I want to copy your plan. Send me your wealth building, your wealth transfer blueprint, the 3 big boy blue chip assets, paper assets you're going to be buying in 2024 and beyond to double your net worth in the next 10 years. I'll send you that video. No cost. It's all free, guys. Just email me and I'll send it to you. Let me know you've opened your Moomoo account, that you funded it, and that you're rocking with me, and I'm going to send you that. Now, even if you don't open the Moomoo account, guys, send me the email. I'm going to send you the video anyways, right? If you don't want to open the Moomoo, don't open it. Do whatever you want to do. The key is you better do something. I'm just trying to make it easier for people that are just beginning and they don't really understand or know anything about these brokerage accounts. Moomoo will be a good beginner brokerage account for you. A guy like me been investing for over 20 years, I use it, right? So keep that in mind. If you want that offer, it's down in the description box. If you're stopping by this channel for the first time, and if you want to, subscribe. Also, if you want to share the video, you think somebody in your network may benefit from it, share it. Send it out. And again, guys, this is all about giving you information so that you can put your financial armor on and be ready for whatever the market does on Monday, right? We just want to be ready. We want to have knowledge up here, so when we see certain things pop up on our little social media feed, if we see things pop up on TV, it don't catch us off guard. We've already talked about it. You got a general idea of what they're talking about, and you know how to act accordingly, right? So that's what the channel is all about, right? Is empowering you guys with financial information that you can then turn around and use to build your wealth. If you enjoy that and that's something that's helpful, lock it in with a thumbs up. Before you get out of this video, click that like button. It's really important that you click the like button. Number one, it tells me I'm on the right track. I'm giving you guys the information that you really need to help you change things in your financial life. So if you're okay with that, lock it in with a thumbs up. I really, really would appreciate it. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind. You can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.